Let's take a closer look at the Hobbyking Bixler versus the AXN Clouds Fly floater jet that can also be purchased from Hobbyking. First thing that's obvious when you put the two planes next to each other is that the Bixler is slightly larger than the AXN. The wingspan is a bit longer and the fuselage is a bit longer as well. Another thing that you'll notice when you open the canopies is that the Bixler has quite a bit more space inside the fuselage, which might be an advantage if you are thinking of doing FPV. Another thing that might be obvious is the shape of the wings are slightly different. It's more elliptical in the AXN. The Bixler has a slightly curve to the rear wingtip, which might be more attractive depending on your point of view. I have to say, however, that the difference between the two is really small. They look very similar. The design overall is very similar as well. So let's look at some flight footage. First up is the Bixler. It's very easy to launch, easy to fly. It's quite fast. That's one of the hot passes that I did. The top speed was close to 70 miles per hour, just under it. It's also fairly stable at low speeds. It slows down well, and when it's slow, it's really easy to fly. And in that sense, it's a little bit different from the AXN. The AXN has a tendency to become a little bit more unstable at very low speeds. And in some cases, I've managed to stall it, and it will drop a wingtip. The Bixler when it stalls is very placid. It just stalls straight forward. Landings are very easy on both planes. So let's have a look at the AXN. As with the Bixler, launching is very easy. It's a little bit more speedy. As you can see, they're just over 70 miles an hour. There's not a big difference between the two, but the AXN is a little bit more speedy. It's also fairly stable at low speeds, but not quite as stable as the Bixler is. The AXN rolls slower than the Bixler, but it has quite a lot of rudder authority, and the rudder will also make it roll. So giving rudder and aileron together will give you a fairly decent roll rate. The AXN is, like the Bixler, it's quite aerobatic. There you can see an outside loop, and both planes are very easy to land. So in conclusion, I think both are really good planes. They're robust, they're easy to fly, easy to build. The AXN is a little bit faster than the Bixler, and one of the advantages is that it doesn't need any modifications out of the box. The Bixler is a bit bigger in all dimensions. It's a little more stable, and it has more room in the fuselage, which could be quite useful. And I also think the Bixler looks better. So my personal preference is the Bixler, but both are excellent planes.